Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn about the another poem of the actually third number poem, and the author is Engineer Albert Miller. And before the poem, I will I would like to talk about the background or history of the author, and then we can start now. Malcolm X assassinated. Now in New York City, Malcolm X as African American nationalist and religious leader. Actually, it's the background of the poem. Just I would like to talk about what is the background actually. Malcolm X and author background or information you can search in your uh, Google or whatever you can search. But the what is the Malcolm X? Who is the Malcolm X? What is the background? Who is the leader or not? What is the contribution to the society or nation? And so we have to start now. In New York City, Malcolm X, an African American nationalist and religious leader, as assassinated by rival black Muslim while addressing his organization of Afro African Unity at the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights. Means Malcolm is the background of the religious leader. Malcolm X is a religious leader and actually is assassinated by the black Muslim people. Now introduction of the Malcolm X. Born Malcolm Little in Omaha, Nebraska in 1925. Born in 1925. Malcolm was the son of the James Earl Little. Is the son of the James Earl Little, a Baptist preacher who advocated black nationalist ideas of Marcus Garvey. Means his father was a priest. Malcolm X's father was priest and also black nationalist. Threats from the Ku Klux Klan forced the family to move to Lansing, Michigan, and his family moved to the another region. That is the name of the death region is Michigan, where his father continued to preach his controversial sermon despite continued threats. Is that particular area also threatened from the another society or another religious affected people? But now the Malcolm's father was a service to the society. What is the service? I mean sermons to, or actually, Malcolm's father was a priest. That's why he give to sermons to the society. He also threatened by the other people, but he do not afraid of that such a situation. In 1931, Malcolm's father was brutally murdered by the white supremacist black legion. Malcolm's father was brutally murdered by the supremacist black people, black legion, and Michigan authorities refused to pursue those responsible, and he do not take a response of that particular authorities. In 1937, Malcolm was taken from his family by welfare casework, and by the time he reached his school age, when Malcolm is a little Malcolm has went to the school. He had dropped out of the school and moved to the Boston. He left the school and where he became increasingly involved in the criminal activities. He involved in the criminal activities. Now, last passage in 1946, at the age of 21, Malcolm was sent to the prison on burglary conviction. There is a one affair at the in the age of the 24. That's why Malcolm went to the jail. It was there he encountered the teaching of the Ilza Muhammad, the leader of Nation of Islam. And there is a one leader meet to the or Malcolm X, and who is the leader? Ejaz Muhammad, the leader of Nation of Islam, whose members are popularly known as the Black Muslim. The Nation of Islam advocated black nationalism and racial separation. It's advocated that what is the motive of that leader? Is a black nationalism and racial separation separatism and condemned Americans of European descent as immortal devils. Muhammad's teaching has a strong effect of the Malcolm, and that particular teaching was effect on the our Malcolm X. There is national freedom or whatever their movement of that particular created by the Elijah Muhammad. And next one, Muhammad's teaching has a strong effect of the Malcolm, means strong effect of the Malcolm, who entered into the intense program of the self-education and took the last name X to symbolize his stolen African identity. He, who entered the intense of self-education, means Malcolm X improvisation, his own self-education. And what is the X? X means there is an identity of the African people. That is Malcolm. Malcolm actually name of the person, and that is the X is a symbol of the African community. Now next, after 6 years, Malcolm was released from prison and become a loyal and effective minister of the Nation of Islam, Harlem, New York City. In that particular New York City, he has a minister of that city. In contrast with the civil rights leader such as a Martin Luther King. And who was the leader of that particular person? Martin Luther King. The first leader is Elijah Muhammad, and the next leader was Martin Luther King. And Malcolm X is the one of the minister of the Martin Luther King's minister, parliament member, whatever you say, member of the minister. Uh, and Malcolm X advocated self-defense and liberation of the African Americans by any means necessary. And Malcolm X advocated self-defense, and every people have to self-defense and liberation of African Americans is one another aspect that you have to talking about the African people, or we can say there is liberation. We want to freedom that particular level from the another people, and we can say we want to self defense. And the African, suppose you study about the African and American movement, that there is a black people suppressed by the white people. That's why you want to, or Martin Luther King or whatever their people, we have to take self education or self defense training also. And also we can say the liberation from the or freedom from the white people. That's why he want to, whatever the people want to take a education, self defense education, self education also. And now next, in the early 1960, he began to develop a more outspoken philosophy that of the Elijah Muhammad, whom he felt did not sufficiently support the civil rights movement. In 1960, he did not support the civil rights movement. In the late 1963, Malcolm's suggestion that President of John F. Kennedy's assassination was matter of the chickens coming from home to the rest, and that John F. Kennedy is another minister of the, or we can president of the America, and that time he did not support the civil rights move. Who's Malcolm X, and who believed that Malcolm had become a too powerful with the convinced opportunity to support him from nation of Islam. And Malcolm X is the powerful, now the powerful people in the that country. Now, a few months later, Malcolm formally left the organization and made a Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca. And finally, he lived to the organization and lived to the Muslim favorite places, Mecca, where he was profoundly affected by the lack of racial discord among the Orthodox Muslim. There is a separation from the Muslim movement, and he want to join the Makkah. He refused to Africa as a Il Alji Malik, Il Alji Shabazz, and June 1964 founded the organization Afro American Unity. Means he went to the Makkah, and then he reached our country. At that time, he there is one established organization, that is name of the, and what is the motive of that organization? African Afro African Unity. Suppose you are Hindu Muslim unity, that is the same time Afro American unity, which advocated the black identity and held that racism, not the white race, was the greatest force to the American African American. Malcolm's new movement steadily gained. Now means here racism not there is a one part of the racism, and there is a main part of the racism to the white people and black people. We have to connect that people combine together and to progress the another. Now Malcolm's new movement steadily gain follows, and his more moderated philosophy means his followers more follower created by the Malcolm X, and influence in the civil rights movement, especially among the leaders of student non-violent coordinating committee, and also leaders from the non-student of non-violent means there is a non-violence based on the Mahatma Gandhi philosophy. On February 21, 1965, 1 week after his home is firebomb, Malcolm X shot to death by Nation of Islam members while speaking at a rally of his organization in New York City. One of the Muslim members also shot to the Malcolm X, and that time Malcolm X died. That's the story of the background of the we can say the poetry. Now let's come to the poem. What is actually poem? Malcolm X, February 1965. What is the means? Malcolm is the name of the person. X is the identity of the African people, and February is in 1965 is the date of the Malcolm X. I will die this month. I don't know. I will die this month. How? I don't know. Actually, I don't know how to die. Still, there is much work to be done. बहुत सारे ऐसे कुछ काम मुझे करना है. So there is a remaining work for I would I would like to do, but there is a no time for me. I am afraid not for myself. I don't care about myself, but for Betty and the girls. But afraid of the Betty, and Betty means is a Hindi word actually, and girls. Some nights I stay awake looking out the window, and some of the nights I just peep out the window, and there is a scene, there is a someone out of the window, and some person will attack me and I will die. That is the situation of the Malcolm X. Gun in my not some nights I stay awake looking out the window, a gun in my hand. I know how cruel people can be. That cruel people, they don't know how to do it, but there is come in and then shot me or whatever they do me, attack me. I know how cruel people can be. There's people there is we do not say they how will do it. I have no hatred and blindness. Actually, I don't know hatred that people are blindness, but there is some people are aggressive. There are brothers waiting to do me harm. Actually, these are my brothers, but they people don't agree on my situation or my philosophy, and these people are to trying to kill me. I will die for them. I will die for them. Actually, I want to die for them. I want to do for them something. I will love them. Actually, I'm loving that person as only I can. जितना मुझे कर सकता हूँ मैं कर सकता हूँ उनसे प्यार वो मैं कर सकता मैं अल्लाह बी माई विटनेस और अल्लाह जो गॉड है वो मेरा क्या रहेगा विटनेस ही जी पोएम आहे माल्कम एक्स हे मरणाच्या अगोदर हे जे आपले ऑथर आहेत ते ॲक्च्युली माल्कम एक्स जे आहे ते 1960 त्यांची मृत्यू झालेले आणि त्यानंतर मग मी जे मिलर आपले जे ऑथर आहेत त्यांनी ही पोएम लिहिली म्हणजे मी कधी मरेल माझे सहकारी वगैरे किंवा कधी मला मारतील दे डोंट नो हाऊ टू डू with me, but actually I will loving that person, and that is the theme of the poem. There is a one person try to freedom from that people, but these people are don't know how to do that people. So there is a one we can say this Malcolm X is a religious leader, good person. Actually, two time or three four time went to the jail, and Muhammad, there is a one leader under that he was a lot of work done, and there is Martin Luther King. That time he also minister of the Martin Luther team. And last of the time, last time of the life, he went to the Makkah and religious person and try to uh, come together of the apro American people come together and make a religious or unity to that circle. But that time, some of the religious person uh, shot the Malcolm X, and that incident Malcolm X die. And this poem written by the Indian Albert Miller. So I hope you understand this poem, and I will send this three pages to our WhatsApp group. And there is any problem, you can ask whatever. So thank you for this lecture, and next time we can see the next poem of the another poet. Thank you very much.